Hello everyone. It's Ian from Cromford Collector's Corner. I'm here today to wish you happy Star Wars Day, which obviously is today, May the 4th. And also to tell you, excuse me, a couple of little things. So today is Sunday. I am open today, and I will be open a few hours tomorrow, Bank Holiday Monday, if you want to come down. I'm going to do like 11 till 4. But if no one comes in, I'll probably knock it on the head early. But I will be open for a bit, so if you want to come down, fantastic. Yesterday was free comic book day, which is obviously always a bit of a difficult one for me, mainly because, you know, I don't get sent thousands of copies of free comic book day comics to give away by massive corporations. So, you know, it is a difficult one. I can tell you that I do occasionally... give the occasional thing away, particularly to polite children. But I also obviously always knock stuff off, do deals, chuck things in. But, you know, if you're around today, you want to come down, I will throw you something in for nothing if you want. Yeah. So I'm going to talk a little bit about what's happening this week, and I'm going to have a little bit of a chat with you about Doctor Who and what we think's happening. And yeah, generally how I'm feeling about it, which is, you know, okay. I feel okay about it. Yeah. So, as I said, I'm open today, I'm open tomorrow, and then I will not be open until Saturday coming. And that's because I've got 2 or 3 little things that I've got going on. I've got some more stuff coming, hopefully this week, which... I am genuinely excited about. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to that. And then Friday, I'm going on a little mission with a friend, and then I'll be back open on Saturday. Yeah, so it'll be. I won't be around a huge amount this week. But yeah, let's have a little chat about Doctor Who. So generally, as a rule, I think we've seen. Dare I say, a significant improvement. You know, I didn't hate last year. It was okay. It was okay. There were some huge plot holes in it, which I struggled with. And there were a couple of things that I don't like about the direction that we've gone in. Now, it could be that the stuff that I don't like is a clever plot device trick that I am misinterpreting. Or... it could just be, I don't know. Well, we'll talk about it in a minute anyway. So, positive-wise, I have to say, I think I'm not personally completely decided on Ncuti Gatwa, but I'll come to why in a minute. But I am totally convinced by the other cast members. I don't know everybody's names, and I've not had a chance to get all that information, but the companion, I think she's really, really good, and I thought Millie Gibson in last night was also really good. The rest of them, you know, peaks and troughs, but generally I think that the supporting cast has been excellent. I think we've seen it's gone from strength to strength. I thought episode 1, sure, it was okay, but I think episode 2, 3 and 4 for me, We've gone from better to better to better. I loved the animated one. I thought that was really cool. I didn't hate it. There was one part of it that I didn't like, but again, I'll come to it. And then I thought the third episode, which obviously spoilers, warning given. Obviously that one, which was effectively a sequel to one of my favourite David Tennant stories, to Midnight. I thought that was really cool. I was like, yeah, interesting to see that they've kind of gone back in, you know, the scares. I think that is a quintessential part of Doctor Who for me. It's got to be a bit scary, guys. And I thought that was much better. And then last night's, or depending when you're watching, the sort of another kind of Doctor Light episode, which is interesting considering we haven't seen a huge amount of Ncuti Gatwa. But nevertheless, I thought it was really, really good. I thought it was quite clever. I loved the twist. Yeah, I thought it was good. So, you know, again, it seems to be... the last 2 or 3 episodes, to me, have felt a little bit more like Doctor Who. There's a little bit of kind of magic about him and the, the mystery and the excitement of the TARDIS and all of that. That felt a little bit more like it. So well done. That was much better. So I'm not, as you know, I'm not a negative person. I try not to be like, really down on anything. But there is one element to the series since it's come back with Disney that we've all talked about, and I was assured by when I met the head of marketing for the BBC scripted drama that there would be less of this. But that's not what I'm seeing. It's the crying. It's the crying, and there's a very specific reason why I struggle with it. Worryingly for me, and perhaps I'm misinterpreting this, but I did read an interview with Davis saying that you don't stop an actor crying. Now, I know what he's saying, but you do if it doesn't fit the character. And the reason I don't think it fits the character is that, in my opinion, I'm not going to go about this too much, but in my opinion, anyone that travels in time, everyone else is both living and dead at the same time. So it's a bit Schrodinger's cat. So when he says goodbye to his companions, there's probably a pretty good reason he's a little bit detached, because they're always alive because he can travel in time, so he could go back and see them. But also at the same time, they're all dead because, he lives for thousands of years, billions of years, with the Capaldi thing. But he's ancient. Whereas people are all humans, and most life in the universe is transient, right? So unless you travel in time, and there are quite a few things in Doctor Who that can travel in time. It's not just the Time Lords. The Daleks can travel in time. So for me, the fact that he's become really, really kind of emotional is a bit weird, and it doesn't really, for me, sit within the history of the character. So I do have a bit of an issue with that. It's probably the one thing I don't like about it, because to me, it implies a lack of understanding of the character. Now, you're not telling me that Russell Davies and the people that make Doctor Who, the massive fans that they are, that they've not thought about that? But maybe that's it. Maybe I'm being overtly critical, and actually this is all some clever plot device. And by that I mean, is any of this real? Is any of this stuff that has happened since the bi-generation, is any of that real? I'm not entirely convinced. There's something going on that I've quite put my finger on. And it's probably to do with, Mrs. Flood. Who is she? Obviously, we've seen references that, to me, that end of last season was a Romana outfit. We've seen her in kind of Clara's outfit as well. So is she kind of borrowing stuff from the Doctor's history? I'm not sure. There's a couple of things that I've read that I'm like, it could be, I guess. Rassilon being one. To me, the one name that I've not really seen, and this kind of makes sense to some degree, is Omega. And the reason I say that is that does not Omega, if I'm remembering right, get kind of banished to like anti-space or like another dimension? Is that not what happens? So perhaps it's something to do with Omega? I don't know. Or it's something to do with the fact that it's fourth wall breaking, and we're seeing that. And also, there's this like real-time element. So, you're not telling me that's a coincidence that Ncuti Gatwa is going to host the British bit for Eurovision, and there's kind of a spacey Eurovision story. Is that going to be some clever, like, in-universe thing? I don't know. I've got a feeling that we're bending the rules here between, what's real and what's not real. And if it wasn't for Ncuti Gatwa being black, I would say all of this is false. There's some kind of clever plot device. But I think we would be on dodgy ground if, for the first time we get a black actor playing the Doctor, and then we go, oh, well, actually, that didn't happen. I don't think that would be right. So I don't think that's actually what's going to happen. But who knows? What else have I written? Yeah. The one thing I would say for it is I don't believe Russell Davies for an instant. I think he knows exactly what he's doing. Maybe all of this, like the show's going to end, is cleverly put out by them. Yeah, I don't know. What I did see, I have to say, last night after I watched it, was just how incredibly quickly the press is to be negative. Oh my God, there was like, straight away, there was a post by, some awful press, basically just immediately kind of putting it down and, trying to find fault and playing the, sort of political card. I mean, for me, the sort of political stuff, again, we said last year, didn't we, that the show has always had a political leaning. Personally, I find some of it a little heavy-handed and, dare I say, patronising. But then, the show is not aimed at white, middle-class, 50-year-old men like me, and nor should it be. So, yeah, at times it could be written a little bit better in the sense that we can, obviously these themes are important and that's okay. But perhaps it could be a little bit more cleverly written. Dare I say it? What do I know? Yeah, because I'm like, a really successful writer, right? But, that's personally how I feel. As a lifelong fan, obviously I'm pleased the show is still going. I think we need to continue to pursue the magical element of what the show is about. And for me, the Doctor should be a little bit more, a little less emotional, because he's an ancient alien in which everything is both alive and dead at the same time. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. I hope, thanks for watching my little ramble. As I said, I'm open today. If there is anything I can do for you, please let me know. The shop is full of Bronze Age comics. I've been working really hard on that this week, all that stuff that came in. I'm currently sitting on at least 150 Bronze Age comics, mainly DC, but I have got some nice Fantastic Fours and some Captain Marvel, which is actually not in the shop yet to sort that out. Anyway, if there's anything I can do for you, please let me know. I really appreciate it. And you guys have a nice day. All right, see you later. If you've not watched Doctor Who, you need to go and watch it. See you guys. Ta-da!